Yeah, that's better. You can get it. Marvelous.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. And look, today is the day. Today is the official day that we're actually gonna go over the OP10 weekly power rankings with all first place ranked deck lists from the East and the West for OP10.
Finally!
Yes, you heard me right. I'm gonna just keep it a stack of y'all. I am getting tired, sick and tired of doing these meta reports with all of these shit deck lists. Every single time I open up some of these deck lists that's in providing, I might as well just jump in the trash can with all the other decks they're providing with how bad some of these deck lists are. I mean,
oh hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
it almost kind of looks like they're trying to sabotage y'all on purpose with some of these lists. So I took it upon myself to get every single high-ranking first place list, either from the East or from the West, from One Piece top decks. No longer us looking at bullshit on our eyes, making our eyes bleed, going blind. No more of that. We're gonna just look at some of the most base and shiestiest lists that you guys can possibly run for the OP10 meta so far, gang.
Amen.
So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into the content, man. So welcome back. So it is time for us to go over the 10th best deck, as you guys can see. But before we actually load up the deck list and start this, I want you guys to pause the video and tell me, what do you guys think the #1 deck of the week is going to be? Last week it was Zoro. What can dethrone him? Okay, Zoro looks like he's fucking everybody's bitch. Go ahead and let me know it below. But besides that, let's go ahead and get straight into it. Our 10th best deck of the week for our week 2 OP10 weekly power ranking has to be hey, look, it's Kid. This is, and I'm gonna be real with you, this is the only yellow deck actually on this meta report. It's safe to say, yellow may be the worst. It is the worst deck. Not deck, but color in the game. Fact, not an opinion. Here's a deck list I grabbed off of One Piece top decks. Like I said, let's just go over every single one of these cards. I'll share my thoughts, and then I'll tell you guys some of these key cards. But nonetheless, this is the best yellow deck you could possibly use ever since yellow did get hit with the Kingdom Come hit. This is the best particular deck to use. If you guys don't know what this particular deck does, it's really setting up a fort. I mean, you've seen the Great Wall of China. This is pretty much this deck in a nutshell, and you really just want to abuse a lot of your supernovas with the blockers, such as the Basil Hawkins. You give this blocker, they attack, you block, you rip a life. You rip a life with a lot of this useless Captain Kid. So a lot of this deck is not only setting up blockers with all your supernovas, such as the Hawkins and also the Captain Kid in the Law, but it's a lot of life burns, such as this card right here, this card right here, and also some life replenish with the Trafalgar D-Law. I've been actually seeing a lot of people start teching out 4 Gadatsus. I don't know if the actual sim list has this, but I mean, who cares? The sim lists are all trash in my personal opinion. I feel like they're trying to sabotage you. We're not doing that over here for the gang. So let's go ahead and continue. End off games with this Portuguese ace. Let's see how many 2K he's running. He's running 4 8s. 12 2K. This is also for your Blackbeard matchup. X-Drake, very great card in the Blackbeard. He's running the Nami for some board removal. I feel like you always need this because outside of these 2 cards, you really don't have any board removal. So these really get rid of all the pesky, blockers that may be on the board. This Cavendish is mainly for you just to be able to get cheated out to use as a blocker, just because there's 8K power, and you also have the electromagnetic cannon and also the flame spit for some board removal as well. All in all, I feel like this is a very good deck. It's the best yellow deck, which is actually crazy. Hopefully we get some more support yellow going forward, but as the time is speaking right now, this is the best. I almost didn't even read the stats. Let's go ahead and read the stats right here. Eustace Kids for week 2's played 3,660 matches with 1,808 wins, with 1,792 losses, with a 7.64 rating, with a 50.22% win rate. So it does have a positive win rate. It's just, I'm gonna be real with you, a lot of people just don't like playing yellow. That's the reason why it's probably so low. And it also has the second lowest games played as well. So this is the 10th deck. Let's go ahead and get straight into our 9th best deck of the format. So our 9th best deck for our week 2 OP10 weekly power rankings has to be ዄ푸luffy. Yes, ₦푸luffy showing up. I feel like this has actually solidified itself as a pretty much a top 10 deck in our format. It is at 9th, but it's on its way out of the top 10. But I feel like this deck will always be a top 10 just because of how powerful these purple cards are for the Straw Hat crew. Let's go ahead and read its statistics here real quick. ₦푸luffy, 9th place, has played 4,027 matches. It's won 2,008 matches. It's lost 2,019 matches, sitting at a 7.71 rating with a 49.86 win percentage. So Monkey D. Luffy, ₦푸luffy, is actually cooking. I'm actually surprised. He actually brought his chef hat and a spatula this time. Let's go over this deck list here real quick. Like I said, all these deck lists are from the East. This deck is pretty much solved, but I refuse to give you bullshit for the December vibes. I feel like they're trying to sabotage you. This is the shy shit. This is the shit that the East is cooking. And after our World's performance, I don't think we should be taking anything serious from the West, right? I know I can't be lying to myself, but just looking at this whole entire deck, we have 4 Shanks being able to apply pressure, big body, bringing down the opponent's power by 1,000 with a 12,000 power, also with rush, very crazy. Same thing with this. This is also one of your game-ending cards. I remember this used to be I think a 10 reset Luffy, but they changed it out for this. I feel like this is a little bit better in this particular list. This also closes out game. This is, if you guys seen any of our games, we use the ace at the 7 drop to really close out games. This is pretty much this card right here. This is your game ending card, and you tie this in with this as well. Very shice, and being able to ramp back up some Don, very crazy. Also being able to abuse this kid, just giving your leader a plus 1,000 power every single turn. If you guys are wondering in this deck, where's the new gate? I think they replaced the new gate with this useless Captain Kid. It's really either or. If you guys can really use the 9 drop new gate, they get a +2 on summon. But the main reason why I feel like this might be a little bit better, because if there is a lot of Blackbeard shy stats players in your locals or wherever you guys are playing at, if they start using the leader ability, Whitebeard doesn't get its effect because it is an on play when it is something, compared to this where if it attacks, it always gets a blanket 1,000 power, making your leaders be at 7,000. So very shice. Outside of that, everything else kind of looks the same. You are also running the Sanjis, the broken 4K booster with Gum Giant, Banka. Everything else is pretty much the same. This is the ₦푸luffy deck. I'm not going to waste any more time on it. Let's go ahead and get straight to our 8th best deck of the format, gang. Let's get it. So for our 8th best deck of the week 2 OP10 weekly power rankings has to be Smoker, and I'm actually surprised it's 8th, but I'm not really surprised because usually for the high skill ceiling type of decks, y'all, the West literally shits the bed. I mean, you put a high skill ceiling deck in front of anybody from the West, they actually look, they might go in a coma until the next fucking set comes out. I just don't know what it is, but this is a high skill ceiling deck. I feel like if piloted correctly, this could be a top 2 or 3 deck in the format. Fact, not an opinion. Let's go ahead and go over every single one of these cards so you guys can see exactly what this deck is running. If this deck does not look familiar, I keep referencing this deck a lot because out of all the other builds of this particular Smoker deck, this might be the best one. This deck list is actually from the championship from Japan in the East in EBO2, so nothing has changed from EBO2 to OP10 with this particular deck, and this is the reason why I keep on showing it, because if it won a national in the East, why would you change what works? So this will always be our staple Smoker deck list moving forward. Compared to the Sim didn't have the kid. I feel like they're trying to sabotage you so you guys can fold. That's not happening over here. This deck always needs to run kid staple. Kid plays the green game perfectly, and if you think Kid needs to be banned, shut the fuck up and go to one of these Teletubby ass fucking channels, bro. Stop with the bitching, bro. They can cuddle you and give you some hot cocoa and and some butt pats if you need it, but over here we'll tell you the truth. If you think Use a Kid needs to be banned, you're a pussy. Shut the fuck up. Just get better. Get better at the game. Stop complaining. It's always the West motherfuckers complaining about something, ain't it? Hody Joe's closing out games. This is your bread and staple, or your bread and staple, your bread and butter, I'm sorry, of the deck. The whole gist of this deck is you want to get this card out and really be able to cycle out Dom with this card with the leader ability. You have the Dashigi to pretty much block all of the removal type of effects from your opponent. So you always want to have these two cards out, so just to protect your kid, especially your kid and your Tashigi. A lot of times if you can overwhelm your opponent with the Tashigi, the kid, you end up ending off the games with the Hody Jones is pretty much free. Having the Ben Beckman to be able to trash any of the burgers for the Black Bear matchup is pretty much uncomparable. Some power reduction for the Otama for this Ben Beckman can't be replaced. This is another great card ran at 4. You guys are wondering why this card is so much. It's just because it might be short printed. Let me know below if you guys did get a case, what your guys' ratios are. But word on the street is this card is actually getting short printed, so just make sure you guys can pick these up sooner rather than later. Blocker of Sanji and everything else is kind of the same, y'all. The only thing that's really different is this card. I've talked about it last time as well. Go ahead and read it. We talked a lot about this Smoker here real quick. Let's go ahead and read Smoker's stats. Smoker has played 6,542 matches with 3,188 wins with 3,354 losses, sitting at a 7.76 rating with a 48.73 win percentage, y'all. So Smoker, a very shiesty ass deck. You need to be a really very good pilot playing this, and it actually shows, because there should be no way in hell this is the 8th best deck. I don't care what anyone says, but like I said earlier, when it comes to skill type sealing decks, the West literally just runs away as fast as they can when they see skill. Oh, we're get the fuck out of here. We can't. No training wheels, no way, I can't play it. So yeah, that's all I got for Smoker. Let's go ahead and get to the 7th best deck for our week 2 OP10 weekly power rankings, gang. So our 7th best deck for our week 2 OP10 weekly power rankings has to be Lim. I'm actually surprised Lim's doing so well. In the East, I think Lim was good the first 2 weeks, so I actually want to see how good this Lim's actually going to be moving forward, to be honest with you guys, because after the first 2 weeks in the East, this deck literally, I mean, it literally pulled the Usopp. Oh yeah, newsflash, Usopp's not in the top 10 again. I know we're talking about Lim, but I'm just saying, people thought that deck was going to be a tier 0 deck, and that shit once again is getting my butter and biscuits for our dinner tonight. So yeah, Lim, here we have it, 7th best deck. Lim has played 4,095 matches, sitting at 2,052 wins, 2,043 losses with a 7.91 rating with a 50.11 win percentage. Let's go over every single one of these cards so you guys can see what these cards or this deck is actually particularly running. This is a OP10 list. I did get this from the East. I actually think this is a championship winning deck from the East. As you guys can see, everything used in this particular deck is viable right now. Okay, so like I said, this is from the East. All these deck lists you won't see anywhere else. It's just over here. So let's go ahead and tap in and tell you the gist of this deck. You pretty much get to this card. That's pretty much what it is. You play the slow game, you bring out a lot of these, you know, these lower cost characters such as the Dofi, the Nails, even the Whitebeards, pretty much building up your board to the point where you end up bringing out this Royalbloodlines Zoro, and you pretty much just spin and fuck the opponent's bitch. And that's pretty much what it is. I mean, I can sit up here and try to sugarcoat what this deck is, but a lot of times you're really just playing the Sabos, you're playing the Rezontes, you're playing the Doflamingos, you're really flooding up the board too, just so you can get some effects such as this card end of your turn. If you have 3 or more rest of your characters in place, that this card is active. So you really just want to be able to flood the board with characters as much as possible, because that's where a lot of the, you know, these particular effects start activating. But all in all, the gist of this deck is flood the board and try to get to this and win. That's pretty much just how you play this deck. I'm not going to go too much more in depth on how this deck is really ran, but that's pretty much how this deck really runs. I mean, you are also running the IDO and the Doflamingo, just be able to birdcage things down, but nonetheless, it's pretty much how this deck really works. It's really a Zoro, it's really just a Zoro Turbo type esque deck. So this is the 7th best deck of our week 2 OP10 weekly power rankings. Let's go ahead and go straight to our 6th best deck of week 2. So for our 6th best deck of our week 2 OP10 weekly power rankings has to be Blue Doflamingo. Yes, I know, another snooze fest. to be real with y'all, if we just look at all of Doflamingo stats, it has played the lowest games as 2,772 matches. It's won 1,519 wins with 1,253 losses, sitting at a 7.98 rating with a 54.80% win rate. I'm not going to really take this deck too seriously. Usually when the decks have the lowest matches played, a lot of the ratings on the sim are kind of fucked up, to be honest with you. So nonetheless, this is Dofi. As you guys can see, nothing has changed, and this is actually from our OP10 Western meta Dofi list. So nothing has changed with this deck list. They're just going for the more board control, to be honest with you, with the ʤuťu and everything. Nothing has really changed. If you guys do want to play Dofi, here it is. But yeah, boring deck to go over. Let's go ahead and get straight to our 5th best deck of the week. So for our 5th best deck of our week 2 for OP10 weekly power rankings has to be Blackbeard. So we have Blackbeard. Let's go ahead and read its stats here real quick. Blackbeard has played 15,290 matches, sitting at 7,769 wins with 7,521 losses with an 8.67 rating with a 50.81% win rate. I'm gonna be real with you. The only reason why this numbers are down on Blackbeard is because this has the most games that anybody, sitting at 15,000 games played, and damn, they're losing half of them. Now, when it comes to Blackbeard, I always tell you guys, Blackbeard is the best deck if the meta isn't completely tunneled into Blackbeard. Okay, right now the meta is completely tunnel vision into Blackbeard with all these red decks running rampant. So if anything, this might be the 3rd best deck in my personal opinion. We do have a different meta compared to the OP10 East. So with that being said, with the ban list and everything, I feel like since so many people in the West is played aggro, this is probably the 3rd best deck in my personal opinion. Nonetheless, let's go over every single one of these cards. I've been getting a lot of posts on my ice. I forgot what it is, Ice Fox with the Blackbeard. If you guys haven't seen this, if you guys have seen that video, I'm sorry, and you guys you know, are a Blackbeard fan, that was probably one of the most shystiest Blackbeard players. A lot of people have been asking me for his list. I don't have his list, but I think this might be similar to his list. I remember in his particular list for Ice Fox, I think he's running 2 Laboons, but besides that, I feel like this is his list. But Blackbeard, this is a walking floodgate. If you guys are from Yu-Gi-Oh, you know what skill drain is. It's pretty much a walking skill drain on legs. The whole gist of this deck is really to, you know, stall until you get to end game and you really just start abusing this card, and by the time you get to this card you should be winning. But you guys are probably wondering, how do you get to this card without losing? First, you abuse this q-zone. That's pretty much what it is. You abuse this q-zone and really just have a lot of board removal with the Don Q, the Laboon, the Augur for some cost reduction, and also with this finger gun. This fucking deck has been solved just like Dofi. There's really nothing else I really need to talk about right now. In OP10, the staple and glue of this particular deck is this q-zone. So you know, I think this card is actually relatively cheap. I think it's like $2 or $3. This is actually a very cheap deck. But besides that, that's all I got for Blackbeard, y'all. This deck has been solved like Dofi, so I'm not going to waste your time any longer. Let's go ahead and get straight to our 4th best deck of the week 2 format for our OP10 weekly power rankings on the sim. So for our 4th best deck of our week 2 OP10 weekly power rankings has to be Bonnie. Bonnie's coming up clutch. I'm telling you, it's always a top 10 deck in my personal opinion, just because the leader ability is that damn good. Fact, not an opinion. Let's go ahead and read its stats. Bonnie's 4th place. It has played 7,406 matches with 3,837 wins with 3,569 losses, sitting at an 8.84 rating with a 51.81% win rate. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I just keep covering this deck over and over again, and to just be honest, nothing really changes. I mean, you guys can really change up the ratios, but look, when the deck is truly figured out, there's really no reason to change up anything. The only thing I'm really just noticing is that the last list I showed you guys last week, they were running 4. This particular list from the East, like I said, all these lists are from the East unless I tell you it's from the West. This particular person is actually going out into this Royal World for 2 and also using the Shanks. And I'm gonna be real with y'all, if you guys are running this Bonnie where you can always just rest anything, why wouldn't you use this? You can get rid of anything on the board that doesn't have anything with KO protection. The only deck that truly does have KO protection is other green decks and BY Luffy. So I feel like this card is crazy. Another thing too is that if you guys are playing a green deck, green specializes in locking down your opponent, and I feel like if you are playing green without playing Kid, you probably shouldn't be playing green. Fact, not opinion. Ending off games with the Hody Jones and having quite possibly the best blocker in the whole entire game with this Basil Hawkins, locking out things with the Carrot, locking things down with the ďufuⱠⱠ, and abusing this Cavendish every turn while attacking and on play. This is a very shiesty ass card. Not card, but deck in general. And Bonnie, look, I've talked to you guys about this deck since OP7. So look, I've already talked enough about this deck so far. Let's go ahead and get straight to our third best deck of our week 2 OP10 weekly power rankings, gang. So for our third best deck of our week 2 OP10 weekly power rankings has to be none other than Ploofy. I'm actually surprised about Ploofy. Ploofy was on, it was pretty much a construction deck. You guys want to build a house, you play Ploofy. This is the biggest thing. The issue with this deck is that it bricks. Let's go ahead and go over Ploofy's stats here, though. It is the third topping deck of the week. Ploofy has played 7,082 matches with 3,712 wins with 3,370 losses, sitting at an 8.87 rating with a 52.41% win rate. Ploofy is another one of these decks that has been solved. I really don't want to be talking about Ploofy because literally I've been talking about Ploofy since last year. I'm going to keep it a stack of you guys. There's nothing truly new about this deck. This is pretty much the same exact deck since OP9. There's nothing really new. The only thing that's different, since this is from the East, you know they're gonna have the right ratios, right? The Charlotte Lillian ran at 3, the Sanji ran at 3, the Kid, the fucking Monkey D. Luffy. I mean, this looks like something that I would cook up, well, quite personally. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, if you look at the Sims deck list, they fuck around. Now you gonna have the Charlotte Lillian probably playing this at 2, and I don't know, you might even have some Magellans in here because, you know, they probably think this is OP05 like last week. So this is the list you actually should be playing. Don't watch any other fucking or believe anything else. I'm getting tired of all the bullshit lists out here. I feel like they're just trying to sabotage you. This isn't the actual proper list from the East that actually has winnings. Okay, so take that with a grain of salt. Actually, don't even take that with a grain of salt because I'm gonna be real with you. So if you guys don't want to lose, tap into these deck list game. But yeah, that's all I got for the third top ranking deck of week 2 for our OP10 weekly power rankings on the sim. Let's go ahead and get straight to our next deck that we're going to feature for our OP10 weekly power rankings. So for our number 2 deck of the week is none other than Shanks. Shanks, look, I'm gonna be real with you. Shanks, number 2 again. Red on top again. This might be a red meta again. I've never experienced this red type of meta before, but nonetheless, people are hyped about it. Let's go ahead and read Shanks' stats here real quick. Shanks has played 18,000, so I actually lied. Shanks has the most games played, sitting at 18,565 games played, 9,782 wins, 8,783 losses, sitting at a 9.31 rating with a 52.69% win rate. Shanks is another one of these decks that I felt like they were just giving you a whole bunch of bullshit on the sim when it comes to deck lists. The main reason being is that I don't know what it is, but tell me below is why does no West players play a searcher in Uta? I just want to know, because this shit is a brick fest if you ever seen one in your life. You're playing 4, you're playing 8, you're playing 11, and then after that you're playing fucking 15 high body 1-turn type of cards in your deck. And I don't understand why you guys don't use searchers to be able to use some of these other type of cards in your deck. This deck has really just been solved. If you guys are brand new to this particular leader, this is pretty much One Piece on training wheels. That's what it is. And like I said, I didn't dub that, the East did. Every time I talk to the East player about Shanks or anything really red, they say, huh, you're still playing that toddler I'm learning how to walk ass deck, this training wheels ass deck, this if you could play this deck of your eyes closed ass deck. That's what the East is calling it. This is not my words. I'm telling you exactly word for word what they're saying, fact, not an opinion. And yeah, if you guys would like to play a red deck, this is a very crazy deck. Pretty much in a nutshell, what this deck does, you abuse the leader ability, but you really just want to get to in game to really start dropping down the Shanks and removing things with a Ben Beckman and cleaning out the games with the Monkey D Dragon with some power reduction with the Automata to bring out to have some board move of the Silver's Rally. Very crazy deck in my personal opinion. Is actually opting out for the Divine Parcher as well. Talked about it last week. Really good card just because it's a 1 cost And yeah, gang, this is pretty much this deck. This is the Training Wheels red deck. So if you guys are brand new to the game, this is a good deck for you to learn off of. Let's go ahead and get to the best deck of the format. But like I said, let me know what you guys think the best deck is so far. So the number one deck of our week 2 OP10 weekly power rankings has to be none other than Zoro. Yes, Zoro has been coming up clutch. Let's just go over every single one of these cards. These Zoro decks are looking quite awfully the same, aren't they? To be honest with you guys, there's nothing really to talk about with this particular leader. It's literally the same exact thing, abusing everything in the Zoro package by giving all your characters a plus 1000 power, having rush with the Zoro right here, abusing the animal package with this chopper animal package, zoo package, cleaning off games with this Sanji. I feel like this might be better than Jambe, just because if you tie this into a lot of the Straw Hat characters such as this right here with the plus 1000 power from Zoro, you're literally looking for a good time. Having some portable with the Gum Gum Mole, very shice as well, and also add a trigger can really go crazy, and just really abusing a lot of the things like the Nico Robin for some portable look. But look, y'all, this is the number one deck of our week 2 OP10 weekly power rankings. I'm gonna just start giving y'all different deck lists from the East just so you could, have some different flavors. So I'm no longer I will never use a deck from the Sim again, because the Sim always got some bullshit. So if you guys love this version of our OP10 weekly power ranking, let me know. This is how we're going to do these forward. No more using the bullshit. We are now going to be using some shicey ass lists to really help you guys in your future tournaments coming up. Okay, so yeah, that's all I got. Let me know below what you guys think of all these lists from the East, all our first place lists. So yeah, that's all I got. But look, before I go, if you was feeling the vibes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll go.